So today I will be talking about the male reproductive system. So here we're going to start with, okay, I'm going to set it down. We're going to start with, this is the penis. So this is the glands of the penis, the shaft, and then on the outside is the foreskin, and also known as the prepuce. And then over here we have the testes, and then the scrotum, and then the epididymis. Here is the spermatic cord, and ductus deferens or vas deferens. And then here we have the seminal vesicles. And then this is the urinary bladder. Connected to the urinary bladder is the urethra, which carries urine out of the body. And the prostate gland and ejaculatory duct are connected to the urethra. Here is the bulbourethral gland. This is the pubic symphysis, hopefully I said that right, the rectum, and then the anus, and then the skin, the fat that's in front of the, like above the penis, is the mons pubis. You can stop it.
So here we have the female reproductive parts. So right here we have the vagina, and then here we have the rectum, and then here we have the uterus, and then the ovaries right here, and then the labia majora, labia minora, and then here we have the urinary bladder, and then around the urinary bladder is the detrusor muscle, and then up here we have the internal urethral sphincter, and then down here we have the external urethral sphincter, and then right here we have the urethra, and then the mons pubis is right here, the clitoris is right here, and then the pubis symphysis is right there, and then we have the anterior fornix, the posterior fornix, and then somewhere right through here is the lateral fornix, and then we have the fallopian tube right here, and then we have the fimbriae right here, and then the ovarian ligament is right there.
Hi, my name is Kenadee and I'll be talking about the principles of hereditary and genetics. So first you start off with alleles, which are different versions of the same gene, and from that same gene, or those alleles, it separates into different traits from the parents, which could either be homozygous or heterozygous. Then from those alleles, they make up phenotypes, which is the physical orientation that we see every day. Then you have the genotypes, which is the combination of those different alleles, which make up the genetic buildup of that individual. Then you have dominant traits and recessive traits. Dominant traits are the ones that take over the recessive traits, and are the ones that the individual has when they are born. The recessive traits are ones that either one of the parents gave them, but they were not dominant, so they weren't given to the individual when they were born. Now, I would like to talk about monohybrid crosses, dihybrid crosses, incomplete dominance, and codominance. So with incomplete dominance, both alleles expressed are producing almost like an intermediate phenotype where they are mixed together. An example of this is with hair, as in if one parent has curly hair and the other one has straight hair, the child will receive wavy hair if there's incomplete dominance. If there's codominance, this has to do with a unique phenotype. Say the parent has type A blood and the dad has type B blood. The child will receive type AB blood, which is codominance because there's not one specific trait or allele that they received, but they received a mixture. And then, like a mixture of both of them. And so now I'm going to talk about monohybrid crosses. So in this one right here, both the parents are heterozygous, and as you cross them together with the traits, you get a big C and another big C, so this child would be dominant. This one's a big C, little c, so also dominant. Big C, little c, and then this one is little c, little c. So if there was if we talked about a phenotype cross, it would be a ratio, it would be 3-to-1, because even though these two kids have a recessive, they also would receive the dominant gene, so it would be 3-to-1 if it's phenotype. In this monohybrid cross right here, one of the parents is homozygous and one of the parents is heterozygous. So as these are being crossed, this one is dominant, has 2 dominant alleles. This one has a dominant and a recessive. This one has a dominant, and this one has a dominant and recessive. So this one would be all 4 have the same phenotype. 2 have a recessive, but 2 are completely dominant.
So this is the male sperm cell, and it's the smallest cell in the human body. This is the head, which is packed with the male's DNA. This is the midpiece, and this is the tail. This is also the only cell in the body that has a tail. The midpiece is filled with mitochondria, which provide the ATP for the thrashing of the tail to move the sperm when it's trying to fertilize the egg.